So one of the questions was, how do we train the dogs? So some kennels will just train certain dogs that they find leader kind of qualities in. But Brent's kind of philosophy is that he wants every dog to be able to be a leader. And they might not be for like racing, especially for like the longer miles and the harder races. But he doesn't want to have to really think about it too much. And obviously he has his standout leaders that he'll go to every time. But if it were to be that those dogs become sick or injured and have to be left behind at a checkpoint during a race, he doesn't want to feel like, oh no, now I'm out my leaders. I don't have anybody else who can lead. So basically Brent just throws random dogs in the front on any given run and gives them the chance to kind of learn from other dogs in the team who might be born and natural leaders, but then also just gets to see where their strengths and weaknesses are as a leader. Obviously the biggest job as a leader is to keep the team moving, but also to be paying attention to directions. So these dogs have two directions, one for left, one for right. Can't really say the words right now, otherwise we'll have some confused dogs up front, but we will have a turn in just a little bit here, so you'll get to see them kind of pay attention and listen. So the boy dog on the left, Draco, he has become a pretty good leader for the team this year, so he is who I chose to put up in the front today because, well, Brent's not here. I wanted to have pretty smooth runs, so I went with somebody that I knew I could trust in lead. But they also know a command for stop, which is helpful, obviously, and Brent doesn't really give them too many other commands. G! And there we go, a beautiful left turn, or sorry, right turn. And yeah, so it's very natural for them. They just kind of follow the trails as well. But earlier in today's run, I needed them to take a turn where there really wasn't a broken trail, which happens a lot around here because of wind blowing our trails in. And yeah, they are all for it. They are great trail finders and trail makers. Oh, we're gonna have actually a left turn in just a minute too, so you'll get to see the other command. So you'll see the gang line. Brent does not use necklines. Some teams use necklines, which is something that attaches like to their collar to the neckline. He likes them to have the freedom of movement. Ha! And also the neckline kind of forces the dogs to keep up and run. So a neckline, you might have dogs in your team who really aren't loving it and aren't enjoying it, and they have really no choice but to be just kind of dragged along and keep up. So some teams really, you know, it's very personal preference to teams on what they want to use or what's best for them and their dogs, but it's nice. It's one less thing to worry about, first of all, but it's also nice to know that, you know, you're able to see exactly that the dogs want to be running and that they're not being kind of forced along in the situation. And certainly there are times when dogs fall behind on the pace, but that makes it really obvious when there's not a neckline, and then you can kind of figure out what the problem is. Are they hungry? Are they injured? Are they just tired? And can address that immediately. So this is some kind of our views. We're still in the mine. Unfortunately, you can't see Denali, but Denali is normally over there, kind of under the sun. And we have not had snow in a while, but the reason you're seeing a lot of dirt here is not because of the lack of snow, but because of the crazy winds that blow a lot of the snow off our trails and of the surrounding areas. But yeah, these are some good dogs, getting some training in before their 300-mile race in 2 weeks.